Play this record as frequently as possible.
From Columbia, South Carolina. What started in a freshman dorm room is now an official broadcast studio. Host Collin Spiker and co-host Jason Hoffman bring you Do You Agree? The sports talk show.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Do You Agree? The sports talk show. Today is season 4, episode 7 for you guys. As always, I'm your host, Collin Spiker. And on the other side of the table, my co-host, Jason Hoffman, and our moderator for today, Reilly Biller. We've got a very special episode. Obviously, the NBA All-Star break was this past weekend, and we're going to debate. And we haven't done this yet, so this is going to be entertaining.
Yeah, let's get some heads bashing today. What do you say, Spike? What do you say?
Let's do it, Chase.
Reilly, it's an absolute pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here and chat with y'all. I know we've gone in our own debates, so
Yes,
I'm
we
glad
have.
I could
We
talk
sure
it out
have.
with y'all.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anyone else I could go for 20 minutes talking basketball MVP, so I am truly honored to have you as our moderator today. But please kick it off for us.
Yeah, so just past the All-Star game, All-Star weekend. So we're going to kick it off with post-All-Star game, mid-season, looking towards the end. And we're going to start off with the biggest topic. Who do y'all have for MVP?
There's one right answer here, Jason. It's Joel Embiid. You are from Philly just like me, and you can't tell me that the best shape we have ever seen Joel the Process Embiid in, putting up the numbers he's putting up this season, leading the Sixers to first in the Eastern Conference before the All-Star break since back in the 70s, and we won the championship back in that year as well. You can't tell me it's not Joel Embiid.
I am going to tell you it's not Joel Embiid.
All right,
The show is called Do You Agree? And guess what? I do not agree. But go ahead, plead your case.
All right, well, let's talk numbers. Sixers first in the Eastern Conference, 24-12, 23-7 with Embiid on the court. He's the best shape we've seen in his entire career. He's shooting career-high stats in every single category. He's averaging 30.2 points a game alongside 11.5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal and a half, and a block and a half, all in 33 minutes a game. That is second in the league in points per game. And if we want to get more efficient, he's shooting 52% from the field, 41.5% from deep, 86% from the line, and 76% at the rim, all career highs.
That's great. That's great, Spike.
Okay. I know it is.
We're through.
MVP numbers.
We're through a half of it. Is that all you got? Is that
Oh,
all
I
you
got plenty more, trust
Okay,
me.
keep the arsenal coming. Come on.
Okay.
Come on. Let's hear it.
Well, his
Who
win
wants to
share
eat?
is
Come
at
on.
5.8. That's the 4th highest in the league. Player efficiency rating is 31.2. That is only 0.1 behind Nikola Jokic, which I'm sure we'll hear later in the day.
I was about to chime in.
And his plus-minus is as 8.5, which for a center is one of the best we've seen in a long time. 34% usage. He's a big man from the past, but he can play in today's game. If you look at some of his footage, he can pull up from deep like he did against the Jazz that sent the game to overtime, or he can back down low and get the N1 with, a Hakeem move or a simple fadeaway. I mean, please, I want to give you the floor. I don't want to blow your mind too early.
Spike, I do have a question.
Please.
Do you think Joel Embiid will stay healthy through the second half of the season?
Absolutely. He's in the best shape we've ever seen. He has a coach that puts trust in him, as well as
Too much trust?
no, not at all. Let's look at Tobias Harris for example. He's stepping up. That gives Joel Embiid the time he needs off the court, so he's not being used like he was last year, the past couple seasons with Brett Brown. Ben Simmons, yes, he can't shoot, but he's having one of the most efficient seasons we've seen from him in his entire career, and that's a whole different conversation. You and I can have that conversation one-on-one any day of the week.
Oh, we could.
Reilly, you just brought up the number one thing that I have to refute Joel Embiid and why he will not win the MVP award.
Okay.
But first, let me give you who I think
please.
is my end of the year MVP as we sit post All-Star break. And that is none other than the greatest basketball player of all time,
I knew it. The person on the side. I was like, I know he's about to
The
say
greatest
that man's name.
basketball player to ever live, Mr. LeBron James.
Michael Jordan's not playing.
This is a
save that
separate
one,
this is
save
a
that one.
separate debate. Hold on there, honey. Hold on there, honey.
LeBron James.
Listen to me.
Okay.
His
You have the floor.
stats thus far, right,
Yeah.
through the 2021 season, they're very good. They're very good. Joel Embiid's are slightly better, no question. But
So is this a debate then?
here's my point, all right? The man's averaging 25.8 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, and 7.8 assists per game,
Yep.
all right? Very, very good numbers, all right? And also, here's another point I want to bring up. If the MVP award was truly the most valuable player to the NBA, LeBron James should have won every single year since 2003. He is by far that league's most valuable asset, and he's the king. He sits on the throne. He has sat on the throne throughout the entirety of his career, all right? But he hasn't won the MVP award since the 2012-2013 season with the Miami Heat. So you know that's got to be sitting in the back of his head, right?
Okay.
Okay? And I want to bring up this famous quote from LeBron James after the 2016 NBA Finals, that historic 3-1 comeback against the Golden State Warriors, right? At the end of this season, reporter asks him, LeBron, you know, how you feeling coming into the 2017 season, right? How's the body? He responds, I'm like a fine wine. I just get better with age. And he's 36 years old, 17th season in the league, and he is the best he's ever been, in my opinion, in the entirety of his career. We've had stages of LeBron, right? You saw the raw athleticism in his early days in Cleveland, coming into Miami, where he combines that sort of mid-range jump shot combined with the peak athleticism, right? And he's obviously not as high-flying and prolific at the rim as he has been in years past, but he's the most complete player to ever enter the league. So let's actually talk statistics on
Please.
post-All-Star break.
Wait, I'm sorry, real quick. I just want to check. It's the year 2021. And I'm sorry, all those stats
Thank you very
were
much.
2012?
Thank you very much. The last 10 years, post-All-Star break, LeBron James' record is 195-72, 73% win percentage, averaging 25.7 points, 8.7 rebounds, 7.2 assists, with a steal and a half, shooting field goal percentage of 48.7. Pretty good, right? But as we said, that's the last 10 years.
Thank you.
He's like a fine wine. He gets better with
Or
age.
what about the percentage in the finals?
We're talking MVP. This is a regular season award.
I'm talking about the games that matter. But go ahead. Carry on.
We'll get to that, Mrs. Jordan, okay? We'll get to that. So, fine wine, better with age. So let's look at the past 2 years post-All-Star. Averaging 29.5 points, 10.1 rebounds, 9.3 assists, 1 steal, and just shy of 1 block a game, shooting 55.8% from the field. Let's look at last year alone now, because he just gets better with age.
Oh, I
All right?
already know what I'm about to say. Please.
29.4 points per game, 9.5 assists per game, with 9.8 rebounds per game. Spike, that is practically a triple-double he's averaging, all right? And he is the best player ever at knowing when to turn it on at the right time. You want to bring up the playoffs. 0 dark 30 LeBron. That is the playoffs right there, and has been for the past 10 years. All right? But again, this is regular season. This is a regular season.
You're talking
award.
like Coach Doc Rivers over here with his regular season. It's
All right,
great.
hey, let's talk better with fine wine, right?
Sure.
Better with age
Sure.
is like fine wine. Now, don't get me wrong. I love watching him play. He is one of the best in the game currently. He's one of the greatest of all time. I'm not going to get in between your guys' debate between that. You guys can have that off the show. But if he's better with age, then why is he averaging a career low in minutes per game? Why is he having his lowest win share in his entire career? Why is this his lowest player efficiency rating since his rookie season? And why is this his lowest plus minus since his rookie season?
Because, Spike, I said it. He is the best player ever at knowing when to turn it on. The season is long. It's grueling. All right?
And that's why they're third in the West?
No problem. No problem. If you remember years back with the Cavs, they went on this losing drought, and LeBron said,
That was the East.
hush down.
That was the East. We're
Hush
talking
down.
about the West. They're behind the Utah Jazz.
What
And the
happened?
Phoenix
what happened in
Suns.
the West
The
last?
Phoenix Suns.
What happened in the West last season? Who went on? What was it? The Lakers? Did LeBron raise his fourth? Yeah.
Okay, we're talking.
that
We're
happened.
talking today.
This man
I
likes to
think
flex.
that
I'm
happened.
going
I think
back to
that
what. No,
happened,
hang on,
all
hang on.
right?
I'm going back to what
I
I'm
think
saying.
that happened.
Let's compare the two.
Okay.
Joel Embiid has attempted 335 free throws,
I haven't even gotten
86%
to
from
my
the line.
most crucial point, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, those 335 free throws from the line, second in the league, 9 behind Giannis, and that's 130 more than LeBron. And LeBron shooting 68% from the line, and Embiid is shooting 86. What else? He is one of the most efficient isolation scorers in the league today, with a minimum of 2 field goal attempts per game. He's shooting 60% efficiency field goal rating. He is behind KD, Harden, Zion, Kyrie, and PG. You know where LeBron is? Take a guess. 17.
He's gearing up for the second half of the season, and that playoff run is exactly where he is. But go ahead.
He's
17th.
sweating over here.
Go ahead.
Immediately, ladies and gentlemen.
Go ahead.
Now, if we're talking most valuable
ahead.
player, it's the most valuable player to a team, correct? So let's look at the Sixers numbers without the MVP, Joel Embiid.
Go ahead.
1-5 record. Embiid is the leading scorer and rebounder in 23 of the 30 games he has played, and he has 21 double-doubles. He has scored 25 points in 12 straight games this season, and that is the first person to do so since Allen Iverson and Wilt Chamberlain. He would have 19 straight if he didn't score 17 against the Raptors. And if we're looking at the last 5 instances where a player has had 30 points per game on 50% shooting. 90-91, MJ. 91-92, MJ. 2013-14, KD. 2015-16, Steph Curry. And can you tell me what all 4 of those instances have in common, Jason?
What's that?
Every single one of them won the MVP. And you know who's averaging more than 30 points per game and above 50% from the field? Joel Embiid. Now please continue. Actually, one more before I get into my deep stuff.
Smart
Steph Curry.
Alec over here. Go
Steph
ahead.
Curry,
Go
right?
ahead. Finish.
Yeah, Steph Curry, his unanimous MVP season that we all remember. Incredible season, right? 30.1 points per game, 45.5% from 3, 50.4% from the field.
Who very well could also win the MVP. However, go ahead.
Let's compare
Continue.
numbers.
Continue.
30.2 points per game for Embiid, 41.6% from deep, and 52% from the field. Now, I'll give the ball to your hands.
Please. And let me pull up. So, LeBron, as I said, the most complete player in NBA history. Does it all. The basketball IQ on this guy is higher than, and it's not even close. It's not even close.
He's had a phenomenal career, but I want to hear right now.
He has more talent around him this season, even more so than last. You add in Gasol, you add in Dennis Schroeder, you add in Montrezl Harrell, you add in Wesley Matthews, right? And he's coming off last season leading the league in assists per game. I'd argue he's the best passer in the league right now, and maybe even ever. All right? But most importantly, LeBron is dependable and the most durable player in the league. He spends $1 million+ on his body yearly. And that enables him to show out in that second half, and most importantly, as you said, the postseason. Joel Embiid is quite literally the opposite, which, everything you said, that's glorious. That's glorious. Those
MVP
stats
numbers.
are MVP numbers
Thank you.
right now, but none of it means anything if you're not on the floor. You can't win the MVP if you can't stay healthy, if you can't stay on the court.
Let me read you this. Tell you
Let me
that
read
the
you this
Sixers are
Joel
1-5 without Embiid. That tells you he's the most valuable player on that team.
There are 63 different listed injuries of Joel Embiid
That's
from
over his career.
2018 till now.
That's over his career. We're talking
His career
today.
started in 2014. This guy can't stay on the floor. It's proven. I'm from Philadelphia just like you. And I've trusted the process my entire life, and I can't tell you how amped I am about our Sixers right now. And I love Joel Embiid. He is the captain of the phrase, trust the process. And I've trusted it all along. But Spike, you can't possibly look at me and tell me that this guy is able to stay healthy throughout the course of the season.
I haven't seen one injury yet.
Oh, really? February 28th, 2021, ankle. February 15th, 2021, back. February 14th, 2021, back. February 5th, 2021, knee. January 30th, January 28th, January 24th, all back. Back to the knee on January 15th. There's more in 2021. Okay? This guy is known to be injury prone and not be able to stay on the floor when it matters. The second half of the season.
23 and
So
7.
what the hell does any of what you just said mean if a guy can't stay on the floor throughout the course of the season?
Okay, let's look
You
at the
know
numbers.
LeBron will be there.
Let's look at
You
the
know
numbers.
LeBron will be there.
When Embiid
But
is on
is
the
Joe
floor,
going to be there?
23
Is
and
Joe
7.
going to be there?
Without
That's
Joel Embiid.
7'2" stature. Can it hang? Can it test the course of a whole NBA season? We haven't seen it yet.
Sounds like your debate is more like
We haven't seen it yet.
Embiid doesn't deserve it more than LeBron does.
Now, to counter both of y'all, I will say a question for you and a question for you. When it comes to Embiid, we have seen a player very injury prone, Kyrie Irving. He came out 2016 and he did the whole darn thing at a very elite level. So it's possible that that could happen. But you're right. There's always a knee, there's always a knee, and there's always an ankle.
And there's always a back.
Correct. And he's much bigger than Kyrie. Kyrie's a 6 foot normal sized dude here we're talking about, okay? But to counter that, he made a good point by saying this is LeBron's lowest year in the plus minus category. Your biggest argument is he's the best player in the world because he makes everyone else better because he's good at everything. But how can you say that this season if he's actually not making everyone as good as he normally does?
We still have whole half of a year to go.
You're really counting on the second half of the season.
It's historically, statistically proven. I just read. You want me to reread you?
You want me to reread
You want
all
me
of
to
his
reread
lowest
all
things
these
in the-
last
in this season of
You
his
want me to
career?
read off the last 10 years of the post All-Star break statistics? You want me to read off the last two again? He knows when to turn it on at the right time. He's the best player at it.
So if he knows how to turn
I guarantee
it on,
you, he's coming out hot. I guarantee it.
if he's
Year
the best
after
player
year,
at
we've
it,
seen
why
it.
is he averaging a career low in minutes per game
Because he saves himself for when it matters.
and uses that
Always.
millions of dollars on his body, right?
Absolutely.
And we're
Does
not gonna,
JoJo do that?
Are we going to mention?
He's too busy eating Chick-fil-A and McDonald's after the games. You know that. You know that for sure.
Are we going to talk about the player efficiency rating?
How efficient can Chick-fil-A be post-game?
Sounds like your argument has a lot more of why Embiid doesn't deserve it than why LeBron does.
I mean, who deserves an MVP award that can't stay on the floor for an entirety of the season?
Someone who has 5 40-plus games, including a career-high 50, 11 games with 35 or more points, and 5 40-10 games, which is more than the entire league combined.
He entered the league in 2014, Spike. LeBron's been doing this since 2003.
Exactly. LeBron's losing his step.
Losing his step. Losing his step.
He's not going to win MVP this year. Your entire debate right now is just hanging on to the thread of the second season come up that he typically has.
Because he always does. I just read you the statistics. It's how this man works.
So basically, what it seems like it's coming down to is you're going with the present and the future with Joel Embiid. You're going with the past and the history of LeBron James. You know who that kind of sounds like? It kind of sounds like Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, and we saw how that turned out.
The head honcho. The GOAT. He got it done. LeBron James is the king, the head honcho, and the GOAT.
He may be the king, but somebody always dethrones the king. That time is coming.
It ain't gonna be Joe, I'll tell you what. It ain't gonna be
In the
Joe.
MVP race, it will.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm here to tell you, I do not agree.
It's the entire thing of the show. LeBron James MVP, Joel Embiid MVP. Reilly, your MVP, please.
Give us your 2 cents.
Oh, I've been listening to you two bozos for the past 20 minutes. Talk about 2 people who aren't going to be winning the MVP.
Okay. Who do you got?
You both got it wrong, so you failed this test. It is so plain sight obvious, without a doubt in my mind, that Nikola Jokic will be winning this year's MVP.
He's not even the best center in the league.
Oh,
Anyway,
yes,
go
he
ahead.
is. He's better than that guy. And he's been a better passer this season than your guy. So I think that leaves me with the MVP. And this is what it comes down to, guys, okay? He's scoring over 28 points per game. He's rebounding 11 rebounds per game.
Okay.
Both less than Embiid. Please continue.
Over 8 assists a game. Okay? This man's a triple-double machine. And then you add, he's shooting over 55% from the field, over 42% from 3, okay? This guy, not only that, he came in the same year as Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look, this is my favorite number of all for you. It says total games played.
Get him.
Joel Embiid, 239. Nikola Jokic, 419.
You can't discount his first 2 years where he wasn't even in the league because of a foot injury.
Oh, he was in the league. He was on the payroll. So, here's my thing. If I'm taking who's going to be there at the end of the season, it's Nikola Jokic. He shows up day in, day out, and he walks out, and he doesn't go to his Twitter, he goes to bed. And he surely doesn't go to Chick-fil-A and McDonald's. And when it comes to MVP, you had it right. The most valuable player in the league on your team. You take Nikola Jokic out of that Denver lineup that has been struggling. I'll be the first to say it. I've watched it firsthand. But you take him out? Oh, my God. They have been leaning on this man. They would be last in the West because Jamal Murray decided to show up a few games ago.
Is that not what I said with Embiid? 1 in 5 with Embiid? And
Okay,
if we're talking Jokic.
Here's where your argument will forever end. He's already missed 7 games. Already. And it was the beginning of the season. And they got knocked out early last year. He had more time to recover than anybody that we're talking about. So there's no excuse to already miss 7 games. We're not even in the second half nitty-gritty March, April, May of the season when it starts to really take the toll.
Are you just repeating past over and over again? That's all I hear.
Pass? It's because it's the only thing on Joel Embiid's resume.
Okay,
Nikola
well,
Jokic
all right, no, yeah.
has elevated his level.
Let's take out Jokic, shall we?
Take out Jokic
In the Nuggets lineup.
Okay.
Like you said, has already been struggling,
Correct.
even with him on the field, on the court, excuse me. They are 6th in the Western Conference. Mm-hmm. It's only 2 games ahead of 8th. Mm-hmm. And they're 21 and 15 with Jokic.
With Jokic.
And I'm sorry, the last time a player on a team won the MVP that didn't make the playoffs was 1975 in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's a great point, but the thing is they are in the playoff race, and they are at the 6th seed. They're not
6th
out of
seed.
it. They're the 6th seed.
You know who's in the 1st seed in the East?
In the East.
Giannis, KD, James Harden,
Get out of here.
Kyrie Irving, now Blake Griffin, who knows, maybe he's going to dunk again because he finally
The
got
only
out.
problem you got to worry about out east is
The
the
Nets.
Nets.
The West is a different ball game. Totally different ball game, okay?
And that's why Jokic is an MVP candidate
No.
at the 6th
No, let me
seed
tell you what. The
and
Nuggets
21 and
played
15. You're totally right.
The Nuggets played about as worse of a first half of the season that they could have started off. After
And that's
coming
why
off the
Jokic is
Western
MVP.
Finals. They will come. No, Jamal Murray, the past 8 games, has averaged over 31 points per game.
So shouldn't he get more MVP talk than Jokic?
No, because he's not consistent. Nikola Jokic has consistently been on the rise to this season where he is now the leading candidate for MVP.
According to who? You?
Not me.
Not me. And not ESPN, Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated.
It depends. It really depends who you talk to. There's some guys out there, my boy Richard Jefferson. I'm just saying, it's just because we don't hear a lot about Denver because Denver is a privately owned media company that televises their own games and has no cable network.
Or because they're 6th in the West.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing as being 2nd in the East or 3rd in the East. No one cares. Y'all will slip. The Nets will rise. Doc Rivers will do his thing, finish a strong regular season to put on his resume, and then lose in the playoffs like he does because he chokes.
Sounds like a Doc problem, not an MVP problem.
I have more faith in Nikola Jokic making a run with the Denver Nuggets in the West than I do with Joel Embiid in the crappy East.
At least he'll be healthy and on the floor for it.
Well, that was a pretty interesting segment. We all have our opposing views, and I guess we'll have to wait to your favorite part of the year, the second half of the NBA season, to see who wins
Sure
MVP.
is. The time that counts, crunch time.
We've
And
got
you know
Jason,
LeBron will be
LeBron.
there leading the charge.
We've got Reilly and Jokic, and we've got myself, Joel Embiid. Well, now that we passed the MVP, let's talk other end of the season awards. Reilly, please kick us off.
Yeah, so I want to know who y'all have right now for Rookie of the Year.
I think this is almost as easy as picking the MVP with Embiid. It's got to be LaMelo Ball. It's LaMelo Ball.
Okay, now we got a debate.
Hey, I disagree with you in terms of the MVP. I don't think there's any way I couldn't agree with you on Rookie of the Year. I think it's clear LaMelo Ball has stole the show out of his 2020-2021 draft class and is willing the Hornets into maybe even making a playoff push.
Yeah.
So I think it's great what he's done for that Charlotte franchise. You know, they've been going through a massive slump the past 5-10 years, and this is their spark. And he's electrifying. He really is. By far the best of the Ball brothers. Congrats, LeVar. You finally got one to live up to all the hype you've been putting on him. But, yeah, clear as day. LaMelo Ball's got Rookie of the Year for me.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with both of you on this one. To be honest, when the Hornets came out and they said if LaMelo Ball is still on the board, we're going to pick them, I immediately was like, oh, then he's going to be a bust. Because Michael Jordan will never put someone on his team that's even close to as good as him or has the potential to be really good. He likes to pick the bust. So when they chose, I was like, this dude is not going to live up to the expectations, and he's far exceeded mine. I know he's far exceeded Jordan, as he said, and I think easily win Rookie of the Year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. For Defensive Player of the Year, there's been some debate, so I'm interested to see who do y'all have.
Jace.
However, I stepped aside from my Philly boys, the Sixers, with the MVP, right? I'm going to go back to him with the Defensive Player of the Year here, and I'm going to put it on Ben Simmons. I think this guy came out this year with the clamps. I mean, you look at him, he's arguably the most athletic point guard in the entire NBA. He's got the length to defend quite literally any player you put against him. And you know what? I don't think it's a contest here. Unless you have something to say with Jokic, Ben Simmons for me.
I'm right there with you. You look at some of his numbers over the past couple of seasons. He's one of just 3 players with at least 200 deflections, 100 steals, and 30 blocks in each season. Since 2017, he's the 3rd most in steals in the NBA. He has 52 more steals than three-pointers surrendered in that span. And if you look at some of the players he's guarded this season, Trae Young, LeBron, Jimmy Butler, Russell Westbrook, Jason Tatum, Harden, Bradley Beal, he's held all of those players, other than Bradley Beal, to under 35% from the field. Those are just Defensive Player of the Year numbers. And, I mean, we saw it. One of the Defensive Player of the Years who's always been, top of the game, Rudy Gobert, he got annihilated by Embiid the other night. So, in my opinion, I'm right there with you. It's Ben Simmons. He's got that locked up just like his defense.
TTP.
Yeah, I'm going to have to actually agree with both of y'all again with Ben Simmons. For now, I don't think he's not catchable by Rudy Gobert just based off how he's done. It's just that game against the Sixers really did hurt that campaign for it. And Ben Simmons is holding the people he's guarding to the same amount of threes that he's making, which is none. So I give him credit for that. We'll see what he does. I only like him on that side of the floor, so God knows he needs this. And that is something that we can all agree on. But then we're going to switch it over to the most improved player this season. And there are a few people we could put in this debate. Who do you have, Spike?
You said it best. There are definitely a few people you can take into consideration, but Jason, when you mentioned it, you got to look at Julius Randle.
Absolutely.
I mean, the Knicks, just like Charlotte, looks like they could be in playoff contention. Randle was an all-star.
Absolutely. First time in his career.
And he's having one of the best seasons he's had in his entire career, and he says he only wants to keep getting better. And with that attitude and how he's playing so far this season, looks like he's the primary ball handler in the Knicks. He's not only that, but he's also the leader. And they're in playoff contention. Julius Randle has surpassed my expectations for him by far.
Yeah, as you said, this was the guy I brought up in this conversation to start off. With as big and versatile of a body that he is, it's cool to kind of watch how he's developed himself as an overall player throughout the course of his career. And we just saw, this past weekend, earning his first trip to the All-Star break. I mean, I'm happy for the guy. I'm excited to see what the quote-unquote playoff Knicks can do. Shout out Greg Oros. But, I think you got to give it to Julius Randle here.
It's cool to see 2 Philly guys picking a Knicks player, I feel like y'all always seem like the little brother to them.
We're honest. We're honest.
I'm going to have to agree also with this one. Julius Randle has far exceeded my expectations. I think it's the best move the Knicks have done since getting Carmelo from the Nuggets. I think he's even been better than they thought. And you mentioned him being a leader. You see him with his teammates, and this dude is the captain of this ship. And I think they're gonna make the playoffs, and that's a really big deal for the Knicks fan base and the organization. So I can't see it going anywhere else. All right, so we're gonna go to our last award, which is Sixth Man of the Year. To some, it's really obvious. To some, it's not. What do y'all got?
Jordan Clarkson. I mean, the Jazz are top of the West, and it's not just because of that starting five. It's having their sixth man average 20 points a game and lighting teams up. For example, the Sixers, when he put up 44 in their first meeting about a month ago. When you have that type of scoring on any bench, you immediately get a handful more wins than you would with a typical bench. And Jordan Clarkson has proved that he deserves that money, and he may be, what a six-man needs to be for the next couple of years.
100%. I totally agree with you here again. Yeah, it comes down to this. Look, Donovan Mitchell and that starting five, they speak for themselves. They sit atop the Western Conference. That is something to note right there.
Right.
But as you said, you need depth. You need depth to go far. And Jordan Clarkson has been the definition of depth on that squad. You said it, averaging 20 plus points off the bench. Again, he's been lighting teams up and has been a huge key to the success of that squad thus far. So, again, I'm with you here, Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, without a doubt, I think it's Jordan Clarkson. I guess the only other guy that comes to my mind that would have a chance, but not really, is Eric Gordon, because he's also averaging around 20 points off the bench for Houston, but Houston's so irrelevant that it doesn't really matter. Jordan Clarkson, though, gives me, I hope this doesn't go to his head, but he gives me Lou Williams vibes.
That's
Sweet
exactly
Lou,
what I was thinking
Sweet
as well.
Lou.
He could come off the bench and get you a bucket anytime, anywhere on the court.
And he embraces the role.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Which is huge for a six-man, because you're the guy that needs to come on when somebody fouls out, when somebody needs a break, when you just need to switch the lineup. And he's embracing that role perfectly. So that's a great analogy. I really get Lou Will vibes.
Yeah, and I think it's great to see Jordan Clarkson kind of turn that corner, and he's been better than I think I ever imagined him to be. I don't know about y'all, but yeah, it's definitely Jordan Clarkson.
Absolutely.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for Do You Agree, the Sports Talk Show, Season 4, Episode 7. Hope you guys enjoyed the debate episode. This was a lot of fun coordinating. Reilly, thank you so much for being on. It won't be the last for sure. And we hope you like the new setup. You guys know we were over there, and now we're here. We've got a lot of good content coming your way. For Collin Spiker, my co-host Jason Hoffman, and our moderator Reilly Biller, we'll talk to you all soon. See you soon.
Good night, guys. Stay safe.